what you guys got for fantasy sleepers? While we're on the subject of receivers, you want to give me your quarterback? Let me go. I'll go down the list real quick.
Sure.
So at quarterback, it was hard for me to say, and I don't even know if it's a fantasy sleeper. I also just want to say guys to look out for this year. They're going to have good seasons.
Okay.
I'm going to go Kenny Pickett. I think that he has got a really good team around him on the offensive side of the ball. I think if Naeem Harris can, have a better season than he did last year, if he can stay healthy, their backup is pretty good. He's shown some promise in the preseason. He's a pretty bulky guy as well. I think he just broke out for like a 60-yard touchdown in their last preseason game. I can't think of his name. He's got George Pickens coming into his own, man. They got Calvin Austin. I don't know if you've seen anything about him. Super speedy, flashy guy. I think he's a Tyreek Hill type of speed. He's not a Tyreek Hill type of receiver, but he's your McCole Harmon, your Sky Moores, a guy that you can use in that offense to pick up yardage. He's got a pretty good tight end too, so I think Kenny's going to have a good season. I know you said that they're going to have their first losing season coming up, but I think that they are. I think that they
that's a toss up. Obviously he's had some 500 years. I think this will be close to a 500.
Oh, it's gonna be it'll be tough. So yeah, I got Kenny Pickett as my quarterback. There was a few on the list, but I thought let's not make it too obvious. In the running back position, I really did some digging on this to see who I really want to throw in there, who's going to be a sleeper, and I think it's going to be James Cook with the Buffalo Bills. Okay. I think that he is undoubtedly going to be the leader in that backfield now that who they had last year is gone. I think that he's going to come into his own. And I think last year at I wrote some notes down. 89 attempts, 502 yards, 5.7 yards a carry. I also read that they want to limit Allen's design run plays. So, I mean, I think the guy's going to be pretty good. And he's got 80 yards from scrimmage anytime he's given 10-plus carries.
I just don't think James Cook fits that mold. I think he's a very skilled player. He's kind of light. I think he might be under 200 pounds. And they do have Damian Harris now. And
yeah, but
like just yesterday, James Cook ran the whole series. They got to the goal line. Damian Harris came in, touchdown. I think we might see a lot of that as well.
Yeah, for fantasy wise, for sure.
Yeah.
I almost went Williams down in New Orleans just because he was a touchdown freak last year for fantasy. And then at the receiver position, this again was a tough one. And I'm gonna sound like a homer, but I'm gonna really go Sky Moore. I think that he's got.
That's tough.
It is tough. It is tough.
I mean,
it's tough, but I just think that I can't say he's gonna have a huge year, but I think he is gonna be the most veteran in that offense outside of MVS. You got a lot of guys. Like I think that they're gonna have to utilize him a lot more because he understands that offense. He understands what Patrick Mahomes wants. So I think that he's due to have a breakout year or to be the leader, especially when you got Tooney, who you don't know is gonna be available for Week 1. I think Rashee Rice is really good too. I mean, he showed promise in against the Cardinals preseason game. I think he had like 8 catches for almost 100 yards.
Man, he could have more if he stopped dropping the damn ball.
Yeah, I mean, Justin Ross, I think will be a deep.
You talking about 4 drops in 3 games, 3 preseason games.
He did another one yesterday, didn't he?
I think Justin Ross will be who they wanted out of Gordon. I think that's what they want.
Justin Ross is a sleeper pick.
Oh, he's 100% a sleeper. But I don't think he's going to be the number 1 guy. But I think he will be an end zone, red zone target because he's a 50-50 ball guy. He runs great routes.
I think maybe not this year, maybe the end of this year, definitely next year. Of course, I think Justin Ross will be a number 1 receiver.
I mean, he was on pace when he was at Clemson before he got hurt to be a top 10 pick.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, he showed Patrick Mahomes loves him in practice. He's got great hands. He runs great. He probably runs the best routes at anybody on that team. It's just about how much Andy Reid's going to utilize him.
Sky Moore.
Again,
I don't dislike Sky Moore.
I don't really even believe in. He ain't shown me a lot. I'm just saying, as far as that offense, what they need outside of Travis Kelce taking the bulk of the targets, he's the only one on that roster that knows the system the best. MVS was never going to be a breakout guy. I mean, he had a great AFC Championship game, but he's never going to He's been a guy who has played with nothing but elite talent and is going to give you 500 yards a year. So, I mean, he's not – I don't think he's going to break out ever. I think MVS is who MVS is. So, yeah.
So, my sleepers are a little bit different.
Okay.
Like, I got some veteran guys on this thing, except for my running back.
Yeah.
I got a Algier for the Is that how you say his name? Algier?
Oh, Tyler. Yeah.
Is
For
it
the
Algier?
Falcons.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I got him as my sleeper running back because I mean I know they just drafted another running back and they talk about them splitting
Oh, they're
carries.
so high up on him too.
But this dude in
He's-
the last 4 weeks of the season last year, I know I said this about Baker Mayfield too, but this last 4 weeks of the season, he led the league in rushing pretty much every rushing category. He was this,
he's good and he's gonna have to be relied upon.
yeah, they got to give him the ball. So that's a guy that at least
I mean, I
as
don't.
an RB2 or a flex to have on your roster.
I was surprised at them getting Bijan.
Yeah.
It's just you just had a rookie running back last year and he ran for 1,000 yards.
Yeah.
On a crappy offense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Didn't have a good quarterback. I mean,
Yeah. And he had good receiving numbers too. Like he was a 3-down back.
Yeah.
He did it all.
My next two, my quarterback and my wide receiver, they're sleepers because you can get them later on in drafts, and I think they'd be good to get later in the draft. Where are you going? Where are you going? All right, I think it'd be good to get later on in the drafts, and I think it's going to be I'll start with my wide receiver. My wide receiver is Brandon Cooks.
That's mine too.
Is it?
That's
Yeah.
mine too. That's
Brandon-
my sleeper pick.
Brandon Cooks.
He always produces.
And he's in a good situation, a better situation he's been in a very long time.
This is probably the best offense he's ever been a part of.
Well,
I'm also going to say
Saints.
that
his Saints offense.
his owner,
but
his owner wasn't very thrilled. He took up some of their top talent up in a fucking small ass Cessna airplane either, and took him for a ride in Seattle. I mean, I'll be honest, that's a little risky to do.
I mean, you're talking about
before the season
Brandon
starts.
Cooks. Brandon Cooks and put up 1,000 yards with nobody.
I mean, he did it. He did it with nobodies.
Yeah.
So I mean, the fact that he has a stellar, a pretty decent quarterback.
I guess, but is he really a sleeper though? Because we know what Brandon Cooks is capable of.
Well,
we saw what he did in Texas. We saw what he,
He's a sleeper because one, he's a number 2.
Yeah.
I think being a number 2 wide receiver almost puts you in a sleeper category.
He's a number 2 wide receiver that has a track record of putting up number 1 numbers.
Sure. Yeah. And I think in a snake draft you can get him later
Mm-hmm.
you can get him after the 10th round for sure. And then for auction drafts like we do, you can get them for dirt cheap. You can get them under $10.
Yeah.
So Brandon Cooks is coming into his 10th season.
Yes.
Yeah.
So far he's played 9 seasons. Do you know how many of those have been under 1K?
How many?
3.
3?
He's had 3 seasons under 1K.
Did he play the entire seasons? Those seasons?
No,
because I guarantee he probably didn't play all 16.
He played 10 games his rookie year for 550. The next year 1,100, 1,000, 1,200,
No.
500, 1,100, 1,000. Like that's what I'm saying. He's not he ain't a sleeper guy. Like
I think he's a sleeper because
I think based on the
way-
expectation of everybody that's in offense, yeah. I get
because
what you're saying.
he's not going top 10 picks.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like he's in any draft, he's not getting top 10 picks, and in our like an auction draft, he's not going $25+.
But I can also tell you, Brandon Cooks has consistently been rostered in this league because
Oh,
I think
yeah.
I think everybody in this league knows football.
I don't know why he's been traded so much. Like in
He has been.
He's played for a handful of different teams.
Yeah, New Orleans, New England, LA, Houston. So
Yeah, and he's produced everywhere he's went.
Yeah, and my sleeper quarterback, and again, this is because I feel like you can get these guys for dirt cheap in an auction draft, or you can get them later in a snake draft.
Yeah.
And it's Matthew Stafford.
Okay. Yeah.
Matthew Stafford,
I respect
because
that. Matthew Stafford was my second.
Here's the thing. A lot of people talk about how great his best weapon is. Everybody puts his wide receiver in top 5. But they don't some people don't even put him in the top 10 quarterbacks. It's just like, how does this happen? So I mean, you gotta be some middle ground here. So I think Matthew Stafford could be healthy. He could be a sleeper. And that team's not that far off. The Rams are not that far off from being contenders again.
no, McVay is a really good.
Yeah. All right, you go ahead, Gary.
For me, my sleeper pick at quarterback would be Jared Goff.
Jared Goff.
Jared Goff. That's my sleeper pick quarterback. He was a top 10 fantasy quarterback last year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He 4,500 yards, 30 touchdowns, and I feel like you can get him super cheap in an auction league, and you can draft him way later rounds in the snake draft.
I also feel like he hasn't gotten the respect he deserves.
Yeah.
Mainly because of
And this is his
the season that he had when everybody was like he should win a Super Bowl, that shootout they had against the Chiefs. But he
Oh, what about that shootout they had in the Super Bowl with them? I'm just
Yeah.
kidding. Was it 13-6 or something like that?
worst Super Bowl ever televised.
Oh my god! But yes, no, and I feel like he has a decent amount of weapons.
And this is his
too.
third year with the Lions or second year?
This will be his third year.
Third year with the
This
Lions.
will
So
be his
that's
third
this.
Yeah, because I mean they got
in
Saint
that system.
they got Saint Brown who's
Yeah.
gonna have a
And
spectacular.
they've been together the
season.
entire time.
Who do they
St.
have?
Brown did miss some time, but yeah.
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 But
Didn't they drafted a running back this year, didn't they?
Gibbs.
Okay.
Yeah. They drafted Gibbs, and they got.
Was he the guy that everybody was surprised that went so early?
Yeah, they were kind of surprised, but I mean, when you want a guy, you want a guy, man.
Yeah, I guess.
no, I agree.
And Jameson Williams, of course, suspended for first 6 games.
For gambling.
Yeah.
They got David Montgomery. I mean, yeah. Also, Teddy Bridgewater wearing number 50. He did change his jersey number, but
Yeah.
he was wearing number 50 for a while.
Sleeper pick at running back. That would have to be Cam Akers for me.
Cam Akers.
Cam Akers.
Sleeper.
Yes.
All right.
I feel like he's not going high enough, and there's nobody else there.
Is that why you took Matthew Stafford out for you to have
No.
have them
No.
together?
I mean,
Yeah, there's just nobody else there. I think it's Cam Akers. I think he'll get 20 touches a game.
he's also young. I mean, last year he went 4.
Yeah.
He had 4.2 yards to carry, 7 touchdowns. They don't throw him the ball a lot. He only had 13 receptions.
Yeah. So yeah, I think, and then wide receiver, I had Brandon Cooks as well.
Look at
As
you.
my
Look
sleeper.
at these two brothers in sync.
I think Brandon Cooks will
Yeah.
have a decent year.